This is my tiny house on wheels. I promised a few of my friends that I would do a walkthrough video to show them some of the things that I've just completed in a mini rehab. I've been living in this home for over 5 years now. I bought it, had it constructed by the Tumbleweed Tiny House Company. It was built in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and then it was delivered to me here in California. I named her Tiny, and there's a little story to that, which I'll tell you at the end of the video. My tiny house is built on a 26-foot trailer with 3 axles. You can see that the siding is cedar and it has a metal roof. Let's go inside. As you enter, you come into what I call the great room. On the end here, this used to be a desk. When I had it built in Colorado, I had them make this end section into a mini office, and there was a desk there that I had my computer on and a bookcase, as you can see. But as time went on, I saw very plainly that I didn't have enough seating or any seating for guests. So recently, with the help of my son-in-law Sergio, I lowered the desk and made it into a window seat. Put a cushion on it. I also used to have a piece of furniture here as my side table, but I took it out because it took up space and made it so that I couldn't get to the books in my bookcase on the bottom. So I put a wall hanging shelf in there, and I can lower that so it's just completely flush with the wall. Of course, no home is home without a picture painted by my mom. This painting she did for me many years ago. My tiny house is air conditioned and heated with this mini split. It keeps it very cool in here, and in the winter when I need it, it keeps it warm. I have a propane heater that forces hot air up through these ducts, but I never use it. I simply use the mini split that is electric, of course. Now, the next mini rehab project I did was to add this cabinet. Used to be that this end unit was right up next to the oven, and I added this cabinet because I needed more space to put pantry items and pots and pans and such. So that was what I did. It was quite an ordeal. It took me a while, but I got it done. And then I repainted my cabinets. They used to be sort of an aqua color, like maybe the color of that bowl on the counter there. But I wanted to go more gray-blue. But as you can see, it turned out being more blue than gray. But in any case, it looks nice. It matches my drapes, my curtains. Once again, it's a 26-foot long trailer. So I'm walking from the great room down the hall to the back of the trailer towards my bedroom. But on the way, you'll see after the kitchen area where I have my spice cabinet. And I added this hanging utensil thingy. On the way, on the left, is my washer dryer unit. It's a combo washer and dryer. I keep all my toiletries right there. And then, of course, I can't live without my microwave. More toiletries and my linen closet. You can tell everything in a tiny house is pretty tiny. Walking further back is my one and only closet. Not much room for all my clothes. But then again, I don't have all that many clothes. Further back is the bedroom. Underneath the bed is the utility cupboard. My hot water heater, my propane furnace, etc. It's all back in here. It accommodates a single mattress. There's my electrical panel behind this piece of wood. And once again, Mom's painting above my window. As you know, every home has to have two methods of egress in case of fire. My front door is the first. This window is the second. So in an emergency, this is the way I'd have to get out if I couldn't go out the front door. After I received Tiny, I had this cabinet built for clothes. I needed more storage for clothes. It's worked out really well. To close off the bedroom is this barn door. And I've attached a fan to the door. Now we're looking straight out from my bedroom to the great room. And going down the hall on the left is my bathroom. The shower is to the left. There is a tiny sink. There are my fan and heater units for the bathroom. And then a small RV toilet. This is a toilet is connected to the city sewer system. If I ever go totally off grid, I would put in a composting toilet. So I had it built so that it would accommodate a composting toilet in the end if I needed it. Maybe I should tell you that the water heater tank is a 10-gallon heater. So with 10 gallons of hot water, one needs to take short showers. They're not too short though. I mean, 5-10 minutes. Not bad. Oh, here's my picture. I always hang it in every home that I live in. It's a picture my mother took of me when I was little. Backing out towards the great room, you can see my refrigerator here on the left. It's an apartment size, which means small refrigerator. Below the steps to the upstairs loft, and then the cubby that I used to have my pantry items in, but adding the cabinet, I was able to move my file cabinet and my garbage can into that little cubby space. You'll notice that my stairs to the loft are also storage cubbies, which by the way are quite full. And now we're back into the great room. I will admit that I have an 8x8 shed next to my tiny house filled with tools and like my articulating saw and some things I didn't want to get rid of. And I have offsite a 5x10 storage unit as well, in which I have camping gear and, you know, the boxes of old clothes, new clothes that are either too small or too large. I need to go through both of those areas to hone down and get rid of stuff. I spent a year downsizing when I lived in my home before I bought this tiny house. I even took a course in downsizing my belongings. Oh, and I added these boxes for my jars of food. And on that end, up top, is a loft, which is a very small loft. I use it to display my pictures of loved ones. Up here above the kitchen cabinets, that's my family, my girls and my grandkids. And now going from the front door, I can take you up the stairs to my loft. I don't go up here very often because I don't need to, but up here you'll see I have quite a bit of room. I have a queen bed, and this is where I moved my desk to. I bought a Djibouti table, which is just a short table. I moved my computer up here. That's quite a bit of room. Downstairs there's about 200 square feet. And I think if you add the space up in this loft, that would add about another 100 square feet. Of living space. But honestly, living in this tiny space has not been hard for me at all. Of course, I'm only one person. Here's looking down into the great room. And the kitchen. The most difficult thing about owning a tiny house and wanting to live in a tiny house is not the space. It's the rules and regulations regarding where you can actually park it and live in it. And of course, every county, every city, every state has its own regulations. I live in an RV park. My tiny is supposed to be, or is classified in California as an RV. I pay yearly registration fees on it to the DMV just like it was a car. And so it is parked currently in an RV lot. I would much rather have open land and beautiful scenery. But for now, this is where I am. I told you I would tell you about the name, Tiny. When I was having this built, at the same time I was also exploring my ancestry, and through ancestry.com I did that DNA swab, and I expected my relatives to come from Germany and England, which they did, but surprisingly a lot of my background is from Finland. My forebears are from Finland, so I wanted to name my tiny house, give her a name. And I wanted something that was along the lines of serenity or peace or calm or something like that. So I looked up the word serenity in Finnish, and it was tiny. Tyyni. So I had the name sign, Tiny, built by Jimmy Don of Fixer Upper fame, friend of Joanna Gaines. He does such good work with the signs. And I was really happy with it. So, going down, short tour of a tiny house.